Andrew reached into his closet, pulling out a thick, warm sweater. He carefully placed it on top of a neatly folded stack of clothes resting on the edge of the bed, his movements precise and deliberate. As he was finishing, Lauren entered the room, her presence soft yet noticeable as she leaned casually against the doorframe. A warm smile played on her lips as she invited him to join her for tea. Andrew hesitated for a brief moment before nodding, following her down the hallway into the kitchen. Lauren moved with practiced ease, setting the table as Andrew took a seat. The aroma of freshly brewed tea filled the air, mingling with the quiet clinking of ceramic cups. She inquired about his work, her voice gentle but laced with an underlying curiosity. More than anything, she wanted to know when he would be returning. But Andrew, lost in thought, barely registered her words. His mind was consumed with a singular goal: buy an apartment. He had been tirelessly working, seizing every opportunity for extra income, determined to build a future for them. His free time was almost non-existent, spent either at work or searching for higher-paying jobs that would accelerate his plans. Lauren understood his intentions. She knew he was doing all for them. Yet, a quiet frustration simmered beneath her understanding. His constant absences left her feeling alone, craving his presence even as she admired his dedication. Andrew was a man who believed in earning everything through hard work. He showed his love in small but meaningful ways. Unexpected gifts, handwritten notes, thoughtful gestures that spoke volumes. These acts of affection often made Lauren feel guilty for the moments when she resented his long hours away. After they finished their tea, Andrew zipped up the last of his luggage. Securing the straps before standing up, he glanced at Lauren, offering a small smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. With a lingering look, he turned and left for yet another business trip. Lauren was a full-time student at the local Teachers Institute, her days filled with lectures and assignments. Because of her studies, she didn't work, relying entirely on Andrew for financial support. He never once complained about the burden, but the weight of it drained him. Exhaustion clung to him, evident in the way his shoulders sagged at the end of the day, in the heavy sighs he tried to suppress. But no matter how tired he was, he reminded himself that it was all worth it. It was for their future. One evening, while sitting alone in his hotel room, Andrew reached for his phone and dialed Lauren's number. It rang multiple times before going to voicemail. Frowning, he tried again, but still there was no answer. A strange unease settled in his chest. Lauren was usually quick to respond. It wasn't until the next morning that he finally received the text. "I'm in the hospital. Feeling better now. I'll explain later." Panic gripped him instantly. Without hesitation, he called her again, his heart hammering against his ribs. This time, she picked up. Her voice was calm as she reassured him that she was all right. She had been admitted to the OB/GYN ward due to a hormonal issue, but she insisted it was nothing serious. The word struck Andrew like a bolt of lightning. The OB/GYN ward. His mind raced with questions. He had always envisioned starting a family, but he hadn't expected a hospital visit to be part of that journey. Concern for Lauren overshadowed everything else, and he immediately requested time off from work. The moment it was approved, he was on the next available flight home. Arriving at the hospital, he wasted no time navigating the sterile halls, his shoes echoing against the polished floor. He checked in at reception and hurried upstairs, his pulse pounding in his ears. As he reached her room, he saw a doctor stepping out. Andrew stopped him, desperation evident in his expression. "What happened?" he asked, his voice tight with worry. The doctor glanced at him, then gave a knowing smirk. "Your wife's condition is nothing to be overly concerned about," he said casually. "Just be mindful in the future. Intimacy shouldn't be so aggressive. It can cause hormonal imbalances." Andrew froze. His breath hitched. A cold sensation spread through his chest. Aggressive intimacy? His mind reeled, processing the implication. His stomach twisted into knots as he did the simple math. It had been nearly 2 weeks since he and Lauren had last been together. There was no way her condition was caused by him. A deep sense of dread settled over him. The pieces fit together with cruel clarity. Lauren had been with someone else in his absence. Numb and disoriented, Andrew turned on his heel and left the hospital without saying a word to her. The air outside felt stifling, heavy with betrayal. Driving home, his hands gripped the wheel so tightly his knuckles turned white. The moment he stepped into their apartment, he moved on instinct. He pulled out Lauren's suitcases, methodically packing her clothes, her shoes, her cosmetics, every trace of her existence in their shared space. The finality of it all weighed on him, but he didn't stop. With the suitcases loaded into his car, he drove to her parents' house. He set them down on the doorstep and knocked. When they opened the door, he didn't bother with explanations. "She'll tell you why," he said simply before turning away. Driving back, his emotions wage war inside him. The betrayal cut deep, but alongside it was an unsettling self-awareness. He had played a role in this. His absence had left her lonely, and loneliness had driven her into someone else's arms. But that didn't make it any less painful. He had worked tirelessly to build a foundation for their future, believing that love could withstand any hardship. But now, he saw things differently. Love alone wasn't enough. Loyalty mattered more. And from this moment on, he vowed to do things differently. Next time, he would secure a home first. Next time, he would build a future with someone he knew, without a doubt, he could trust.